a world obsessed with chocolate, few people know what truly happens behind the factory doors. Rivers of molten chocolate cascade over stainless steel falls, shimmering under industrial lights like liquid gold. Massive roasting drums burst with the crackling sound of cacao beans releasing their aroma. Steel rollers crush roasted beans into a silky paste, and spiraling tempering machines swirl chocolate until it shines like a mirror. This plant produces more than 2 million chocolate bars every single day, yet almost none of this process is ever seen by the public. Until now. Today we're going deep inside the hidden world behind America's favorite chocolate. This chocolate facility spans the size of more than 10 football fields. From the outside, it looks like an industrial fortress. Steam stacks, silver pipes, loading bays, and endless corridors. Inside, everything is controlled with scientific accuracy. Engineers monitor the entire production line from a command center lined with screens showing temperature curves, grinding pressure, cocoa butter ratios, and conveyor speeds. The factory runs 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, serving supermarkets, bakeries, ice cream brands, and candy companies across America. Behind these walls, cacao is transformed into chocolate through a combination of chemistry, craftsmanship, and massive machinery. The story begins thousands of miles away in Ghana, Brazil, and Ecuador. Farmers harvest ripe cacao pods using long machetes, slicing them open to reveal rows of white pulp-covered beans. These beans are fermented under banana leaves for several days, a critical step that builds chocolate's signature flavor. Once dried under the sun, they're packed into burlap sacks and transported to export facilities. Each batch is inspected for size, uniformity, and moisture content. The beans must be firm, aromatic, and properly fermented. Only then are they shipped across the Atlantic, headed toward the factory that will unlock their full potential. When the bags of cacao arrive at the plant, the first step is rigorous inspection. Conveyor belts carry the beans through derocking systems and powerful air blowers to remove dust, sticks, and debris. Laser sorting cameras examine each bean's surface, detecting discoloration, mold, or foreign material. A magnetic trap removes metallic fragments that may have slipped in during harvesting. Technicians check moisture levels and look for toxins or defects. Only about 85 to 90% of the beans make it through this stage. The rest are removed, ensuring that only the highest quality cacao continues to the roasting phase. Roasting is where chocolate truly begins. Massive steel drum roasters spin hundreds of pounds of beans at temperatures between 120 and 150 degrees Celsius. As they heat, the beans crack open, releasing steam and a rich chocolate scent that fills the entire factory. The heat triggers complex chemical reactions that reduce bitterness and deepen flavor notes such as caramel, nuttiness, or fruitiness. The intensity and duration of the roast determine the chocolate's final profile. Lighter roasts preserve fruity notes. Darker roasts bring bold, smoky tones. Once roasted perfectly, the beans exit onto cooling trays before the next transformation. Next, the beans move into a machine called a winnower. As the roasted shells crack, oscillating air currents separate the paper-thin husks from the precious cacao nibs. These nibs are the heart of chocolate. They fall into grinders that crush them into cacao liquor, a thick, warm paste made of solids and natural cocoa butter. The heat from friction melts the cocoa butter inside the nibs, turning the paste into a smooth, aromatic liquid. This is the raw form of chocolate, but far from ready to eat. It still needs refinement.
Friction heat makes cocoa melt into a thick liquid.
The cacao liquor now flows into a 5-roll refiner, one of the most important machines in the factory. The liquor passes between enormous steel rollers stacked vertically, each one squeezing it tighter than the last. Sugar and milk powder are added during this stage for milk chocolate blends. The rollers spin with incredible force, grinding the mixture down to particle sizes smaller than 20 microns. That's finer than the human tongue can detect. creating the smooth, creamy mouthfeel chocolate is famous for. When the mixture exits the refiner, it is transformed into a delicate, velvety chocolate mass. Conching is where the chocolate develops its soul. Giant conching machines, long steel troughs with rotating paddles, knead, aerate, and heat the chocolate for up to 48 hours. This process smooths texture, reduces acidity, and evaporates unwanted moisture. Cocoa butter is added to adjust richness, while heat keeps the chocolate fluid. The mixture moves continuously, swirling from one end of the machine to the other, releasing intense aromas. Over time, the chocolate evolves from gritty to glossy, from raw to refined. By the end of conching, the chocolate has its final flavor, balanced, rich, unmistakably delicious. To ensure chocolate snaps cleanly, shines beautifully, and melts perfectly on the tongue, it must be tempered. The chocolate is pumped into a tempering machine, where its temperature is carefully cycled, heated, then cooled, then warmed again, to create the ideal crystal structure known as Form 5. Without tempering, chocolate would turn dull, streaky, and prone to white fat bloom. Inside the spiraling metal tubes, the chocolate swirls in waves, thick and glossy, while sensors track its temperature down to tenths of a degree. Proper tempering is a blend of art and precise physics.
final shot of this section.
Tempered chocolate flows toward rows of high-speed molding lines. Hundreds of polycarbonate molds glide beneath stainless steel dispensers that flood them with perfect amounts of chocolate. The molds vibrate rapidly to release tiny air bubbles, ensuring each bar is solid and flawless. Some molds create bite-sized pieces, others make full-size bars or specialty shapes. Once filled, the molds travel into a chilled chamber. As the chocolate cools, it contracts slightly, pulling away from the mold and forming a clean, sharp edge. When the molds exit, robotic pickers flip them over, dropping finished bars onto the next conveyor. Newly formed bars enter an extended cooling tunnel stretching nearly 25 meters. Cold air, circulated in stages from 18 degrees down to 8 degrees Celsius, flows around the bars, setting them perfectly. Timing is critical. Too fast, and the chocolate cracks. Too slow, and it loses its shine. The bars glide slowly through the tunnel before emerging crisp, glossy, and stable. Workers inspect each bar visually, checking for surface imperfections or bloom. Only perfect bars move forward. Packaging happens at remarkable speed. Foil wrapping machines fold and seal chocolate bars with machine-like precision, wrapping up to 500 bars per minute. A heating element seals the edges, creating an airtight barrier that protects the flavor. Laser printers stamp each wrapper with date codes and batch numbers. X-ray scanners examine each bar for foreign objects or internal defects. Any flawed bar is instantly rejected. The rest move onward, gliding into the boxing area. Robotic arms load wrapped bars into cardboard cartons, stacking them neatly and efficiently. The cartons are sealed, labeled, and placed onto tall wooden pallets. Each pallet holds up to 1,500 bars. Forklifts transport these pallets into temperature-controlled warehouses kept between 18 and 20 degrees Celsius, optimal for preserving chocolate's delicate structure. Every pallet is tracked digitally, showing exactly where it came from, where it's going, and how long it has been stored. From this warehouse, trucks fan out across the country, delivering chocolate to supermarkets, bakeries, convenience stores, and candy aisles everywhere. What began as a tropical fruit on a distant farm has traveled through roasting, grinding, conching, tempering, molding, and wrapping to become one of America's most cherished treats. Smooth, sweet, comforting. This is the hidden process behind America's favorite chocolate. And now, you've seen every step of its extraordinary journey.